News into it. Sunrise begins right now with some very warm conditions starting out the day, and looking ahead towards today, a very dry start. Looking ahead towards much more widespread rainfall happened yesterday, but looking ahead towards today, some much more drier conditions. So.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, we needed the rain.
Yes.
We got the rain, but now the story is going to be the heat.
Yeah, so the heat for the next couple of days is going to be very warm. Let's take a look at what to expect for today. Starting out with temperatures right now, it's currently 70 degrees. Live look at New York for Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. In the area right now, we are currently dry. Much of the rainfall did happen yesterday, but thankfully we're looking to remain mostly dry for today. Local temperatures, it started out very warm today, 69 degrees in Utica Warm Region, 69 in Whitesboro, 69 in Utica, 70 degrees in Westmoreland. Local temperatures in Southern Valley, 70 in Hamilton, 63 in Skenevis, and 68 in Unadilla. Weather headlines, it'll be breezy, hot and humid today, the breeze bringing a relief to the heat. Isolated storms are also possible later on today. We're also tracking even hotter conditions heading into tomorrow with increasing humidity as well. There is even a heat advisory in effect for tomorrow. This is for 12 p.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. So it's not in effect right now, but just keep aware if you're outside over the next couple of days, just be sure to remain hydrated and be sure to remain cool. Now for today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy. A few isolated storms heading into this evening while breaking down what to expect over the next couple of days coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks a lot. Well, today marks the deadline for
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. We start out your Tuesday morning with warm temperatures across the area, starting out in the 60s and 70s. We're going to warm up into the 80s with heat indices reaching the 90s. A very warm day ahead of us today. We're going to look ahead to see some much more breezy conditions, bringing some relief to that heat. Here's a live look at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. There is some wall of clouds across some parts of our area, so if you are driving in higher elevations, just be aware of those clouds. They look to be clearing up pretty quickly heading this morning, but still, your morning commute might be a little bit tricky with those clouds. A live look at Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. In our area right now, we are remaining dry. There was some brief showers earlier on this morning as the low pressure out towards the north is slowly moving out towards the east for the time being. Around the clock today, we warm up pretty quickly. We're already starting up in the 70s, 74 at 9 a.m., 83 we head into noon, and 87 as we head into 3 o'clock. A warm day ahead of us today. A bit of relief with the wind speed between 10 to 15 miles per hour. A bit more breezy compared to yesterday, but still looking ahead toward a warm day ahead. Here's a look at what temperatures will feel like with the heat as well as humidity. You're going to feel like the 90s, a very warm day ahead. Make sure you stay cool, drink plenty of water and fluids. Overall weather grades, sunny across the board. There is a few isolated storms we're keeping an eye out for. More info on that coming up in just a second. Radar and satellite, a widespread rainfall was caused by a warm front that moved through our area, bringing some increasing heat humidity. A very weak cold front brought some brief showers and storms across some parts of our area last night. Now, there is a third part of this low pressure system. It's called a shortwave trough. And what this does is it's a very weak disturbance that can cause a few storms to fire up, especially when we have high heat and humidity. Just a brief startup can cause these storms to develop. So mostly sunny today, a few passing clouds, and isolated storms are possible across some parts of our area. So we are at a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather risk. It doesn't mean we're not completely out of the picture for severe weather, but still it's very low possibility. Not everyone is going to be seeing storms, but still just keep your eye to the sky today. Be sure to remain weather aware as we head into today. Now looking ahead on our Skycast, we start out today with decreasing cloud cover, warming up into the 70s and 80s with a few passing clouds. As you can see right here, a few brief storms are possible as it moves across the area. And as we look ahead towards tonight, cooling down into the 60s and 70s, a mild start to tomorrow. A brief shower, but mostly cloudy skies, starting out to mostly clear skies. Temperatures warming up into the 90s. A very hot, hazy, hot and humid day for Wednesday. As we head into Thursday, a cold front arrives early morning on Thursday, bringing some storms and showers. They don't look to be on the strong side because thankfully the front is moving through in the morning, which means there's a lot less ability for that storm to develop into much more severe weather. A few scattered showers and storms head into Thursday, but overall a much more drier start to the next couple of days. The bigger story is heat. Today, partly cloudy, isolated storms are possible, breezy conditions as well. We will cool down only into the 60s tonight with increasing cloud cover. Tomorrow, hazy, hot, and humid. Temperatures warming up into the 90s. A very warm set of days ahead of us. Our 7-day forecast looking ahead. Warm temperatures for 80 degrees for Tuesday, 92 for Wednesday, 85 degrees for Thursday. Once again, those passing showers and storms are possible in the early morning. We dry up heading to Friday with highs in the upper 70s, or upper 80s, I should say. Over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. A severe line of storms brought
Back, here's a quick 4-day forecast for you out the door this morning. Starting out with rainfall. After some widespread rainfall yesterday, we're looking to remain mostly dry today. A few isolated storms are possible, primarily in the North Country and Southern Valleys due to a shortwave trough across some of our area. On Wednesday, same picture, a bit less of a chance to see some scattered showers and storms, mainly on the isolated side. A cold front moves through early Thursday morning. There's a higher chance of seeing some scattered showers and storms. Overall, mostly dry later on in the day. And heading into Friday, once again, same story. The heat and humidity will bring an increased chance for seeing a few isolated showers and storms. Now, searching for sunshine, it's going to be on the sunny side today. Once again, a few isolated storms, meaning that most of us will remain dry. Same for Wednesday. Once again, that front moves in Thursday, bringing those showers possibly across some of our area, bringing some increasing cloud cover. And same story for Friday, as well as for Wednesday and Friday, with the decreasing cloud cover from that sunshine. And looking at the wind outlook, it's going to be on the breezy side today. Looking ahead towards tomorrow, though, hot, hazy, hot, and humid. But the one story is there's not a lot of wind bringing relief to that to the heat. But the winds do pick up for Thursday and Friday, bringing a breezy end to the next couple of days. Over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood or platelets. Gary Liberatore this week. Meteorologist Eric Gage joins us now to help you plan your day. Forecast number more than 10 minutes away. And Eric, heavy rain came yesterday, the much needed rain, but now the story is the heat.
Yes, the heat and the humidity is the story for today. We're rising up into the 80s. And it will feel a lot more warmer due to the humidity. And normally when there's a dry heat, it doesn't feel as hot. But with the humidity added, it'll feel more like the 90s. So mostly dry today. A few isolated storms are possible in some parts of our area. Here's a live look at Yorkville Battery. Storm Tracker 2 dopped the radar. As you can see in our area right now, we are currently dry. There was a few brief showers moving through the area earlier on this morning. We are remaining mostly dry so far. Local temperatures 68 in Whitesboro, 69 in Utica, 63 in Big Moose, 67 in Little Falls. Southern Valleys 63 in Schenevus, 66 in Unadilla, and 66 in Norwich, as well as Sherburne. Weather headlines: it will be breezy, hot, and humid today. The breeze bringing a bit of a relief to the heat. Isolated storms also possible today, especially later on this evening. More on that coming up. And it will be even hotter tomorrow with heat indices reaching the mid-90s. So a very warm day, especially tomorrow. And there is a heat advisory in effect, or keeping you aware of this for tomorrow. This is in effect from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. So not today, but still, it's going to be a hot day today. So for today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy. A few isolated storms are possible. Have your full Storm Tracker 2 forecast coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Eric. Well, across the country, it's almost time for
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. A warm start today, a bit on the hazy side too, looking ahead towards a much more warmer day today, warming up into the 80s. Here's a live look at our Cavity Tower camera. The sunrise did happen just a few minutes ago, 5:41 to be exact. And it's kind of hard to see the sunrise right now. There's a lot of haze and low-level clouds across the area. If you are making a morning commute this morning, if you're driving through higher elevations, be aware of a bit of a hard way to drive, especially with all the low-level clouds across some parts of our area. Now, live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. There's still a lot of moisture that the radar is picking up, but mostly we are dry. Not much more rainfall for the time being. We'll head towards the next couple of days. A very dry stretch of weather with a few isolated storms possible later on today. Around the clock, we start out in the 60s and 70s. Warm up into the 80s by noon, 83 degrees at 12 o'clock, 86 and 87 by 3 and 4 o'clock. Right on the wind speed on the breezy side today, between 10 to 15 miles per hour, starting around noon and ending around 6 p.m. So this morning, a bit on the less breezy side, but still a noticeable breeze, bringing some relief to that heat. Take a look at the heat indices for today. This is what the temperature will feel like. It'll feel like 91 degrees. This is due to the humidity as well as the temperature on top of that. And sunshine will make it feel like a very warm day. Make sure you have a way to stay cool, particularly the hot temperatures today. Now, looking ahead at our weather grades overall, sunshine across the board. There is a few isolated storms to keep an eye out for. Make sure you remain weather aware throughout the day today. Now, taking a look at the bigger picture right now, the low pressure system that brought us widespread rainfall yesterday, all that heavier rainfall is now moving out towards the northeast. And that cold front that brought us a few isolated scattered storms across some parts of our area yesterday, along with brief heavy rainfall as it strengthened out towards the Albany area. There's a third part of the system. It's called a shortwave trough. What this does, it's a very weak disturbance that can initiate a few isolated storms, especially due to lifting across some areas, primarily in the Adirondacks, as well as the southern valleys, some of those valleys down there with the higher elevation. So we could see sunshine throughout the day. Mostly today, most of us will see dry conditions, but there is a few spots that could see a few isolated storms, and some of these could be on the strong side. You want to make sure you're up to date with the latest information. It is a level 1 out of 5, meaning that it's a very low chance, but there is conditions in the atmosphere. There's plenty of thunderstorm fuel. Not a lot of rotation, but there still is plenty enough to get some storms going. So just make sure keep your eye on the sky today. Now, looking ahead at where to expect so far the storms, they're going to be primarily in the North Country or Southern Valleys for the overall day today. So starting out today, warming up into the 80s, a warm start, and a few passing storms are possible. As you can see on this skycast right now, we're not showing any notable storms right now. I see a few passing, but there is a possibility that it could fire up. Now, mostly cloudy. Overnight, decreasing clouds heading into Wednesday, but take a look at these temperatures tomorrow, warming up into the 90s. The humidity does not give a break, so it's going to be a hot day tomorrow. There is a heat advisory for some parts of our area, primarily the Herkimer County, especially some parts in Montgomery and Fulton counties out towards the east as well. This is because areas out to the east, they run out of a separate Weather Service office, so there might be heat advisory in effect for tomorrow for Oneida as well. We'll keep you up to date with all the information as well. Now, heading into Tuesday, early Tuesday morning, a cold front from the west pushes through, probably bringing up relief to some of the humidity. Now, this could fire up a few stronger storms, but primarily they'll be outside of our area because it will be traveling overnight into our area. Now, a few scattered showers and storms are possible as it moves through our area later on in the Thursday afternoon, but still a mostly dry day for Thursday. Today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy skies. A few isolated storms are possible once again. Tonight, we cool down into the 60s with increasing cloud cover. Still keeping that humidity around for tomorrow. Highs for tomorrow, hazy, hot, and humid in the 90s. A very warm stretch of weather ahead. Our 7-day forecast, make sure you remain cool for the next couple of days. We're going to be remaining in the 80s and 90s, definitely the middle of summer. Looking ahead towards Thursday, a few isolated and scattered storms as a cold front moves through the area. We do dry up as we head into Friday with highs in the upper 80s. Over to you, Steve.
Okay, Eric, thanks. The countdown is officially beginning.
Welcome back. The story today is the heat. We start out by taking a look at high temperatures across the area. Starting out in the North Country, we see temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s, 78 Eagle Bay, 78 Inlet, 77 Atwell, with 80 degrees in Port Leyden. Across the Mohawk Valley, same conditions, temperatures warming up into the 80s, 84 Utica, 83 Frankfort. They will feel a little bit warmer as well with that humidity rising. The significant breeze from the west will bring some relief to that heat, but overall it's going to be a very warm day today. Now we see 83 in Little Falls, as well as Herkimer and Ilion. Across Southern Valleys, same conditions as well. 83 in Lawrence, 82 Hartwick, 83 Brookfield with 84 degrees in Hamilton. Looking to get some yard work done. Today's probably your best bet. It's going to be on the hot side, but once again, that breeze will bring some relief to that heat. Tomorrow, I would say not really, just because of that really high heat. There is a heat advisory for some parts of our area, so definitely I would say if you want to get some yard work done, do it today, especially since that rainfall brought some widespread rain and much needed rain to some parts of our areas. Now Thursday, as a cold front moves through, we want to get the timing down. It's not exactly set in stone yet. We want to make sure that we have the right information, so I would say no for the time being, but we could switch this as we get more information heading to Thursday. Now definitely, due to the heat over the next couple of days, put in the AC and put that on high. We're looking ahead towards a very warm week ahead. It's definitely feeling like the middle of summer. Over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. It's not in for Gary this week. Meteorologist Eric Gage joins us now to help you plan your day. Forecast never more than 10 minutes away, and we had the heavy rain that was much needed, especially for our farmers out there. But now the heat is what everybody's going to be talking about.
Yeah, the heat be the main story for today. Heat, humidity. The heat is not going to be as hot, it'd be in the mid to upper 80s, but the problem is when you have increased humidity, that'll bring those temperatures, will feel like the lower 90s, so a very warm day today. Make sure you stay cool across the area. Mainly dry, however, a few isolated storms are possible. Here's a live look at a Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. In our area right now, we are mostly dry, a few low-level clouds. They are clearing up, so if your morning commute could be a little bit tricky, especially if you're driving in higher elevations this morning. Now, skywatch temperatures, 64 in Old Forge, 68 in Westdale, as well as New Hartford. A warm start to your Tuesday morning, as well as Southern Valleys in the 60s, 67 in New Hartford, or in Milford, as well as Morris, with 66 degrees. In Edmondson, dew point is in the 60s, so it's feeling a little bit more humid this morning. Sunrise slowly moving back down, like moving away from the summer solstice. It'll be breezy, hot, and humid today with isolated storms possible later on this evening. We're tracking even hotter weather tomorrow. Temperatures warming up into the 90s, and not just heat indices. There is a heat advisory. Want to make sure you're aware of this. This is for tomorrow between 12 and 5 or 12 and 8 p.m. in the evening. So this is for tomorrow, not for today, but still we're looking ahead towards a very warm day today with highs in the 80s. Mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies, a few isolated storms. We'll be breaking it all down in a forecast coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. Today marks the
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday and a warm Tuesday to start out. We're already starting out in the 60s and 70s. We're quickly warm up into the 80s, and it will feel like the 90s with an increased humidity throughout the day today. Here's a live look at our Cavity Tower camera. If you're heading out the door this morning, there is some low-level clouds across some parts of our area. However, some lower levels are seeing some sunny skies. However, just keep an eye if you're heading out this morning. You're driving through some heavier cloud cover as you head out in higher elevations. Now, live look at your York Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar is saying the same story. As you can see, a few higher level clouds are being picked up on the radar, especially out near Cooperstown, just north of Oneonta right now. But this will clear up in the next couple of hours as looking ahead towards a mostly dry day today with a few isolated storms later on this evening. Around the clock, we warm up into the 70s, 83 as we head into the noon hours, 86, 87 are the highs with 3 and 4 p.m. being the temperatures for the highs for today. A breeze will bring some relief to the heat. However, it will be on the breezy side between 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained winds later on this evening. However, with the humidity comes the heat, and what it will feel like, these are heat indices, and we feel like the 90s will be feeling very warm today. Make sure you find a way to stay cool. Along with sunny skies, it will feel very warm today with decreasing cloud cover this morning, and a few isolated storms are possible. More on that coming up in just a second. On the radar and satellite right now, there is a low pressure system that brought us some widespread rainfall. As you can see, that rainfall is all out to the east right now. There is a cold front that moved through our area yesterday evening, bringing some scattered showers and storms across some parts of our area. They were a lot stronger further south and east to our area, primarily out near Albany and New York City, where you did see earlier there was some flash flooding. There's supercells that formed down there. Now, what we have to worry about right now is a shortwave trough. Now, what this is a very weak disturbance. Now, it doesn't cause much, but when you have high humidity, there's plenty of thunderstorm fuel to initiate storms. This can just quickly fire up a storm or two in some parts of our area. That's why the risk is very low. But still, sunshine and dry conditions across most of our area for the time being, and a few isolated storms. We are at a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather. Just make sure you're weather aware throughout the day. Not everyone will be seeing storms, but make sure, once again, you are weather aware as we head throughout the day. On our Skycast, mostly dry today. Temperatures warming up into the 80s. Humid as well. Will feel very warm with the heat indices once again reaching the 90s. Passing clouds, a few isolated showers and storms are possible before they do clear out by the early morning tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies, may wait for partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Highs reaching the 90s with a few isolated showers and storms. Once again, the chances of that are much lower tomorrow. As you head into early Thursday morning, there's a cold front that arrives from the west. Now, because this moves through in the early morning, there's a very low chance for severe weather, but still we'll keep you updated on any information if this moves faster or slower. But looking ahead towards Thursday, warming up into the 80s, bringing some, the heat will continue as we head throughout the next couple of days. Today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy to isolated storms are possible later on this evening. Tonight, we only cool down to the 60s with increasing cloud cover. The clouds look to decrease tomorrow with hazy, hot, and humid conditions. Highs in the 90s. Our 7-day forecast. Make sure you find a way to stay cool over the next couple of days. It's going to be a hot couple of days in the 80s and 90s. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A few scattered storms possible on Thursday due to that cold front. We dry up on Friday with highs in the upper 80s. Over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, as you mentioned, a severe line of...
Welcome back. With a high humidity will cause an increased chance for seeing some isolated showers and storms even when the sun is shining across some parts of our area. Starting out with today and tomorrow, a lot more sun than clouds, especially later on this evening, but still, due to that high heat humidity, there is a low chance for isolated showers and storms to pop up across the area for today. Less of a chance for tomorrow, but still be sure to remain weather aware for some storms that could be arriving over the next couple of days. Thursday, as a cold front moves through in the early morning, there's a higher chance of seeing some rainfall before it weakens as it heads over out towards the area. It looks to strengthen as it moves out towards Albany. And on Friday, still, once again, the high heat will bring a higher chance of seeing some isolated showers and storms. Searching for sunshine, as I mentioned before, even though there is some isolated storms, we're seeing a lot of sunshine over the next couple of days for Tuesday and Wednesday, for today as well. Sunshine across the board, decreasing chance of seeing some sunshine as a cold front moves in from the west and into Thursday. We're seeing a lot more sunshine and drier conditions as we head into Friday. Now, breezy conditions for today, less breezy tomorrow. That's the biggest concern. That's why we have a heat advisory in effect for tomorrow. It's due to that high humidity as well as the high heat, as well as the winds not bringing a lot of relief to that heat. So still, make sure you are well hydrated tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, a bit on the more breezy side as a cold front moves through, but still very hot temperatures across the region. Over to you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Eric. Every 2 seconds, 6:30 a.m., I'm Steve McMurray, meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now to help you plan your day. And it rained yesterday, but heat is the story today.
Yes, that's right. And thankfully, we have a bit of a breeze to bring some relief to the heat. And so we don't have a heat advisory for today. There is a heat advisory for some parts of our area for tomorrow. But once again, the biggest story is the heat as well as the breeze, humidity, and also a few isolated storms are possible later on today. So let's take a look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. In our area right now, we are currently mainly dry. As you see on the radar, there's a few areas of low-level clouds bringing your morning commute a little bit tricky, especially if you are in higher elevations. Temperatures this morning in the 60s, a warm start to your Tuesday, 64 in Old Forge, 68 in New Hartford and Clinton, 68 degrees in Westdale, as well as 69 degrees in Verona Beach. In Southern Valley's temperatures in the 60s as well, 66 in Emerson, 67 degrees in Morris, Milford, as well as Hartwick as well. Current temperature is 69 in the Utica-Rome region. Dew point still in the upper 60s, so it's feeling very humid out this morning. Wind speed still bringing a bit of relief to that humidity as well as that heat. It'll be breezy, hot, and humid today. Isolated storms are possible later on this evening. More info on that coming up in just a little minute. It'll be even hotter tomorrow with heat indices reaching the mid-90s to possibly reaching the hundreds. A very warm day tomorrow. So once again, there is a heat advisory in effect tomorrow, not today, between 12 and 8 p.m. for tomorrow, especially in Herkimer, Fulton, and Montgomery counties. For today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy skies. A few isolated storms are possible. We have your full forecast coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, across
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Most of this heat wave that we've seen across most of our country has pretty much been out of our area for the time being. However, looking ahead towards the next couple of days, we are finally going to be seeing some of that heat wave that is seeing temperatures in the hundreds across some parts of the lower U.S. Just a live look at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. A bit hard to see right now. Still low-level clouds, slowly looking to weaken as we head into the later on this morning, but still, if you are traveling this morning, there is some tricky travel, especially in higher elevations. Here's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Other than that, we are mostly dry. Sunshine peeking out in a lot of areas. As a look at Cooperstown as well as Oneonta, seeing some sunny skies, a beautiful sunrise, a warm and humid one with that as well. Around the clock today, we're going to warm up pretty quickly. Warming up, we're already in the 60s and 70s, warming up into the 80s by noon, 90s, or it feels like 90s. We head into the evening hours between 3 and 4 o'clock. In the upper 80s, wind speed bringing relief to the heat between 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained winds, especially in the Mohawk Valley today. But overall, temperatures will feel like the heat indices in the 90s. Definitely a very warm day ahead of us today. But other than that, sunny skies across the board, decreasing cloud cover. There is a few chances of some isolated storms popping up across some parts of our area. More info on that will be coming up in just a second. The radar and satellite, the widespread rain showers that brought us some much needed rain across most of our area is moving out towards the northeast right now. Then that trailing cold front that brought some, fired up a few storms, especially out towards the south, that bring a few supercells, some flooding issues down towards New York City, even a water spout that was not confirmed but out towards southern part of Albany. So definitely the tornado threat was southeast of our area yesterday, but thankfully our severe weather threat is low for the time being. What is going to be concerned is a shortwave trough. It's another part of this low pressure system. What this can do is this can cause some storms to fire up due to the high temperature and humidity, and most of sunny skies across most of our area will remain mostly dry, but still a few isolated storms can pop up, and they could be on the strong side. I want to make sure you're weather aware today. A level 1 out of 5 for severe weather outlook. This could bring some gusty winds, even some hail. It's not out of the ruling just for that as well. But looking ahead towards today, there's enough ingredients, including storm fuel, as well as rotation, just some decent rotation across the area. Taking a look at our skycast, warming up quickly today in the 70s and 80s, a few passing clouds overall, and actually some isolated storms moving across some parts of our area throughout the day today. We're cooling down to the 60s and 50s overnight, but heading into tomorrow, even warmer. We have a heat advisory across some parts of our area tomorrow with temperatures in the 90s, a very warm continuation of the next couple of days. Today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy. A few isolated storms are possible, a bit in the breezy side as well. Tonight, we're cooling down to the 60s, increasing cloud cover. Tomorrow, on the warm side as well, hazy, hot, and humid temperatures in the 90s, our 7-day forecast. Looking ahead, a warm stretch of weather ahead. We're definitely in a heat wave with temperatures warming up into the 80s and 90s. Look to dry up as we head into Friday with highs in the upper 80s. Over to you, Steve.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. The countdown.
Morning and welcome back. Taking a look at high temperatures across the area today. It's going to be a hot one. Make sure you stay cool. Starting out with the North Country. Warming up into the 70s, but the heat indices will make it feel a lot warmer, especially with that humidity across our area. 78 degrees in Eagle Bay, 78 in Hoffmeister, as well as 80 degrees in Curtis, 79 degrees in Gray with 80 degrees in Ohio. Across Mohawk Valley, a little bit warmer too in the 80s, 84 Utica, 84 Holland Patton, 81 Newport, 83 Fairfield, 82 over in Dolgeville, and across the valleys. On the warmer side as well, 83 Lawrence, 82 Edmiston, 81 in Cooperstown, 82 in Fly Creek, as well as 82 over in Worcester. So a very warm continuation this week. Want to get the long cut? Today's probably your best bet. It's on the warm side too, but not as warm as tomorrow. That wind will bring some relief to the heat. Tomorrow, definitely hot. I would not recommend it, even though if you can, it'll still be sunny out, mostly sunny across some parts of the area. There still is a cold front moving through on Tuesday, the timing of which still want to break down just on the exact timing of that. So I would say no for Thursday, but also not recommend doing the lawn yard work out for Wednesday. This also was brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Now looking ahead towards the next 7 days, definitely want to use the AC. It's going to be a hot next 7 days. We're definitely in a heat wave with temperatures warming up in the upper 80s, even the low 90s across some parts of our area for the next couple of days. Over to you, Steve.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. It's not just the cost of news. Good morning. It is 7 a.m. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary this week. Meteorologist Eric Gage now joining us to help you plan your day. His forecast never more than 10 minutes away, and the heat has arrived.
Yes, heat has arrived. The biggest story today is the heat as well as the humidity rising up into the 80s. The temperatures will feel like the 90s due to that increased humidity. Mostly sunny skies today. A few isolated storms are possible throughout the afternoon. We'll break it all down for you coming up in the next couple of minutes. But first, starting out, here's a look at what we're seeing right now at our Oneonta camera overlooking the city of Oneonta and Radar camera. It's a beautiful sunrise this morning across some parts of the area. If you are in higher elevations, you're probably seeing a lot of cloud cover. This is because the humidity and the temperature and dew point are very close together. So low-level clouds are expected across some parts of the area. Live look at York for battery. Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar dry across most of the area right now. Still some low-level clouds to be looking out for your morning commute. It is currently 70 degrees in the Utica-Rome region, so clouds moving throughout the area will be decreasing as the temperatures rise up into the 70s, eventually 80s throughout the day. So for today, temperatures warming up into the 80s. Are tracking a few isolated storms to be developing across our area. Look at that forecast is coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. Today, Mark.
Welcome back. After some widespread rain showers, some much-needed rain showers yesterday, the widespread rain showers are now out of the forecast, at least for the next 4 days. Taking a look at our next chances of rainfall. Today and tomorrow, there is still a chance of a few isolated pop-up storms possible across some areas, mainly due to lifting and also due to a trough that is moving in from the north, a pretty weak disturbance for today as well as tomorrow. Thursday, a cold front from the west will bring scattered showers and storms, not looking to be widespread across our area. And on Friday, still same conditions over today as well as tomorrow. A few pop-up showers and storms are possible due to the heat as well as humidity. Now, taking a look at our sunshine outlook, even though there is some isolated storms possible, looking ahead towards a sunny next couple of days for today as well as Wednesday. But on the less sunny side, a lot more cloud cover as a cold front moves through early morning heading to Thursday. And on Friday, once again, a lot more sunshine is expected as that cold front moves through earlier on Thursday. Now, on our wind outlook for today, definitely a bit breezy. However, tomorrow there is a heat advisory due to high temperatures as well as high humidity. And unfortunately, the wind will not bring a lot of relief. Wind speeds are not going to be that strong tomorrow. But heading to Thursday and Friday, a bit on the more breezy side, as once again a cold front moves through from the west, bringing ahead towards a much more breezy end of the week ahead. Over to you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Eric. A severe line of storms brought.
Welcome back. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday morning. And starting out with today, we're warming up into the 70s, eventually 80-degree mark. A very warm and humid day ahead of us today. Here's a live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. In the area right now, we are currently dry. There's still a few low-level clouds and higher elevations, bringing some tricky travel to some parts of our area if you're heading out this morning. Temperatures this morning, 64 in Old Forge, 68 in Clinton, Westhill, and New Hartford, as well as 69 degrees in Verona Beach. And across the valleys, temperatures in the 60s as well, 67 in New Hartford, Morris, as well as Hartwick, and 66 degrees reported in Edmiston. Now, humidity is very close, dew point is very close to the temperature. What that means, a lot of low-level clouds bringing they will be looking to weaken as we head throughout the day. It will be breezy, hot, and humid with sunshine passing clouds this morning. Isolated storms are possible later on today. That means not everyone will see a storm, but still want to make sure you're weather aware this afternoon. Even hotter temperatures are expected tomorrow with highs reaching the 90s. A very warm day tomorrow, and that's why tomorrow we do have a heat advisory in effect for southern Herkimer County and Fulton and Montgomery counties. This is once again for tomorrow between 12 and 8 p.m. So for today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy. A few isolated storms are possible, and I'm breaking that all down coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric. Well, across the country.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. After some much needed rain yesterday, we're looking mostly dry throughout the day today with some partly cloudy skies to mostly sunny skies across our area. There's a few chances of a few isolated storms popping up across the area. Some of them could be on the stronger side. More info on that coming up in just a minute. Here's a live look at our Cavvy Tower camera. If you're heading out the door this morning, there's a bit of patchy low-level clouds across some higher elevations across the area. However, in the valleys, we are seeing a lot of sunshine. So after the clouds move up in the area, once the temperatures continue to rise, the clouds will look to weaken and look to remain out of our area for the next couple of hours. Live look at your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We're looking dry across the area right now. There still is a few indications of those low-level clouds on the radar. We see those very faint green dots across the radar for right now. Now, around the clock today, we do warm up into the 80s, a warm day today, 86 and 87 by 3 and 4 p.m. On the breezy side, too, take a look at 2 and 3 o'clock. Wind speeds in the Mohawk Valley reaching 14 miles per hour, so a very breezy day ahead of us today. Now, we'll bring some relief to the heat. This is the feel-like heat, so this is the heat indices. It will feel like the lower 90s across some parts of our area with the increased humidity. Now, overall weather grades, sunshine across the board, and there are a few isolated storms to be keeping a lookout for as we look ahead towards today. Now, the reason why, there is a low pressure system that brought us a lot of widespread rainfall out towards the northeast. That is now moving out of our area, and that cold front that brought some stronger storms out to the east. However, this is another part of the low pressure system that doesn't really get a lot of attention because it doesn't cause a lot of issues with weather unless it's really hot and humid. It's called a shortwave trough. And what this does is when it moves into our area, it causes just a weak disturbance. And when this is a weak disturbance with high heat and humidity, it's just enough to initiate a few storms. So because of this, mostly sunny today with a few isolated storms are possible across some parts of our area. And that's why we are at a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather outlook, and this is mainly across northern parts of our area. This is mainly due to higher elevations, so out towards North Country as well as the southern valleys. The Mohawk Valley looks to be pretty well clear of this weather today. Now, looking ahead on our Skycast for today, warming up into the 80s, a very warm day ahead of us too, along with high humidity as well. Now, also a few isolated storms are possible, as you can see popping up here and there on the Skycast. Some could be on the stronger side, but still, we're just want to make sure you're weather aware of the weather today. Now, looking ahead towards tonight, we cool down to the 60s, warm up tomorrow, very hot tomorrow in the 90s with high humidity. There is a heat advisory for some parts of our area tomorrow. After that, we cool down with a few pop-up showers once again. And heading into Thursday, early Thursday morning, a cold front arrives from the west. Now, because this is in the early morning, the severe weather threat is very low, so we're not expecting any stronger storms right now. There could be some storms developing, some scattered storms arriving later on in the afternoon, heading to Thursday. We are looking mostly dry that day. Take a look at our heat index. This is what we're looking at right now for the heat so far. So for today, the heat indices will reach the upper 80s to low 90s. That means it'll be very hot. It will feel very hot with those muggy conditions. But tomorrow, this is why there's a heat advisory. It will feel like the low 90s. If you're working outside tomorrow, if you haven't spent a lot of time outside, make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you find a way to stay cool. And you want to make sure you don't have any heat-related issues due to the heat tomorrow. Today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy. Isolated storms are possible primarily in the North Country and southern valleys. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Increasing clouds make to decreasing clouds tomorrow with highs in the 90s. Hazy, hot, and humid is a story once again for tomorrow. A 7-day forecast. The heat wave continues throughout the week. Widespread storms to scattered storms are possible on Thursday before we look to dry up on Friday with highs in the 80s. As we look at Saturday, once again, the rest of the weekend is looking warm with highs in the low to mid 80s.
McMurray in for Gary this week. Thank you for joining us. You've seen it dominating the national headlines, and tomorrow it's coming for us. We're going to go straight to the Weather Center this noon. Meteorologist Eric Gage tracking extreme heat in tomorrow's forecast. Eric, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Steve. And yes, we are tracking some much more warmer temperatures tomorrow due to the heat as well as the humidity. Temperatures warming up into the 90s possibly. Now, looking at, right now what to expect for temperatures today, we're still going to be on the warm side, not as warm as tomorrow, but still currently we are tracking temperatures in the 80s. There's a live look at what to expect right now. 81 degrees in the Griffith Park in Rome right now. In the Utica Rome region in the 80s. Dew points in the upper 60s, so it's feeling very humid as well. A bit of a breeze to bring some relief today, but that breeze will not be here tomorrow. That's why we're looking ahead towards a very warm day tomorrow. Temperatures across the area, 75 in Old Forge, 85 already in Clinton, and 83 in Cassville, as well as Mohawk with 79 degrees reported in Otsego. Live look at our radar. Things are looking dry across the region for the time being right now. We are tracking a few isolated showers and storms to be moving through the area later on this evening. But these could be possible. They could not be possible. It all depends on the elevation and where to expect them, especially up in the North Country or Southern valleys. And heading towards tomorrow, even hotter is looking ahead towards tomorrow. We have a heat advisory. This is for 12 p.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. tomorrow. This is not in effect right now, but just be on the lookout tomorrow if you're working outside. If you're just spending time outside, make sure you're hydrated, have plenty of fluids. It's going to be a very hot day tomorrow. Now for today, highs in the upper 80s, partly cloudy skies. A few isolated storms are possible in the forecast. We're breaking it all down coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. Much of the heat wave that has been affecting most of the country is now going to be arriving in our area in the next couple of days, making it very warm and also very humid. That's why there is a heat advisory for tomorrow in some parts of our area. Herkimer, Fulton, and Montgomery counties. Oneida as well as Otsego County are not in the advisory right now, but they might be putting it out either tonight or early tomorrow morning. There is an advisory that is in a special weather statement for heat indices nearing 95 to 100 degrees. So it's going to be a very warm day tomorrow. Now, looking ahead towards today, it's going to be on the warm side as well. There's a live look at our Cavvy Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica, a bit on the hazy side in some parts of our area. And also we're seeing a lot of sunshine, mostly sunny skies for most of our area. If you are in the North Country, however, you're probably seeing more clouds than sunshine right now. Most of the clouds in the area right now are situated in the North Country, as you can see here on our New York State Mesonet cameras in Colebrook, as well as the North Country. You see much more clouds. However, as we move further down south towards Herkimer and Westmoreland, we're seeing a lot more sunshine. That will seem to be the case throughout the day with a few isolated showers and storms that could be popping up. More info on that coming up in just a minute. Live look at our radar. Things are looking pretty dry across the area, and once again, we're looking to see some isolated showers and storms popping up randomly across some parts of our area. Now, temperatures this afternoon are in the 70s in Old Forge, 85 in Clinton, 84 in Gray, 83 in Cassville, as well as Mohawk, with 79 degrees in Otsego. So it's already noon, and it's already in the mid-80s, so expect to see some very warm temperatures today. Radar and satellite, a bigger picture right now. So that warm front that brought us a lot of widespread rainfall, some much needed rainfall, is now out towards the east. And now there's a trailing cold front out towards the north, as well as there's a warm front out towards the west of our area right now. Now the reason why we're going to be seeing a few isolated showers and storms is due to the shortwave trough. And what this is a light disturbance in the atmosphere. What this can cause, especially with high temperatures and humidity, is a brief disturbance in the atmosphere can cause some storms to develop, especially in elevations such as the Adirondacks or the southern valleys. So we're tracking mostly sunshine today with a few isolated showers and storms popping up across some parts of our area. Now, this could just be a mostly dry day. We don't see any storms at all, but just want to bring it out that most of us will remain dry, but some of us could be seeing some stronger storms. That's why we have a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather outlook for today. If you zoom in a little bit, you can see exactly where it's going to be affected. The main area we were concerned about right now is the North Country, primarily the Old Forge area, as well as Cooperstown and further south. Mohawk Valley is less likely to see these storms today, but they're going to be isolated. Not everyone's going to be seeing it, but just to keep your eye in the sky for today. Now, looking at our Skycast, warming up into the 80s for today with mostly sunny skies, a few partly cloudy conditions, especially in the North Country and southern valleys. And you can see right here, a few isolated showers and storms can develop. There's right conditions, there's humidity, there's a bit of a rotation, not too much, but there's plenty of heat and humidity that can cause plenty of fuel for these storms to develop. Now, after tonight, we cool down into the 60s and 60s and 70s overnight with some patchy fog in the morning that quickly weakens. And looking ahead towards tomorrow, temperatures in the 90s. Give me a very warm day tomorrow with lots of sunshine, an isolated shower or two, but mostly dry. So definitely want to make sure you stay cool tomorrow. Looking ahead on Thursday, I should say, after a cold front moves through, a few isolated showers to more scattered showers and storms could arrive, but those temperatures will largely remain in the 80s. A very warm next set of days. We're definitely experiencing a heat wave. Now, looking at our heat index, this is what the temperature will feel like for some of us. Now, looking ahead towards today, temperatures were reaching the 90s. They'll feel like the 90s today. Cool down to the 70s overnight and warm back up into the mid-90s tomorrow. So looking ahead, a very warm next couple of days. And as I said before, make sure you find ways to stay cool. If you're heading outside, if you're working outside, drink plenty of water because these temperatures could be pretty significant. Now, a quick overview on our severe weather outlook for today. As you see over here, most of the area is up towards the north for severe weather risk. And once again, the highest risk is some heavier rains, some gusty winds, and some hail that is possible with some of these storms. But the risk, as I said before, is very low. Today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy skies. A few isolated storms are possible on the breezy side as well. Tonight, we cool down to the 60s, increasing cloud cover as well with some temperatures still possibly in the 70s. A lot of humidity in the air today. As well as tomorrow, temperatures rising up in the 90s. Hazy, hot, and humid is a story for tomorrow. And that breeze that we're getting today is not going to be much of a relief tomorrow as those temperatures warm up in the 90s. Feeling like a very warm day tomorrow. A few showers and storms possible early Thursday morning as well as early on in the afternoon. Dry on Friday with highs in the low 80s. Look to remain in the 80s throughout the rest of the week heading into the weekend. Over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. The heavy in this half hour, once again, here's meteorologist Eric Gage to tell us about those extreme temperatures on the way. Eric, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, Steve. Yes, extreme temperatures are on the way. We have a heat advisory in effect tomorrow in some parts of the area between 12 and 8 p.m. That is for Herkimer, Fulton, and Montgomery counties. The southern part of Herkimer County is just as well as the southern part of Fulton County right now. But looking ahead, so we always talk about pop-up storms, and I want to explain exactly what these are because these are also what usually happens in our area because of the terrain, especially the Adirondacks as well as the height of the southern valleys. When we have a lot of moisture and a lot of hot air, it makes it super easy for storms and rain showers to develop. So as air rises, it cools, and all that moisture in the air does condense. And there's a lot of instability. It can create some storms, and they do just pop up out of nowhere. It does not have to be caused by a front or anything, just because of wind direction and simply it moving up a hill. Now, as it moves down, the air warms again, and there's no longer that much humidity, so it starts. The clouds start weakening, and there's not that much rain showers moving in later on. So that's why these storms look like they pop up and then disappear out of the blue. And this is why there's pop-up storms, why they're isolated, they're not widespread, and these could be like basically anywhere depending on where the terrain is. Now right now it is 81 degrees, it feels like 83. The dew point is slowly rising into the 60s, remaining in the upper 60s, even to low 70s for the next couple of days while we're feeling very hot and very humid. Feels like temperatures today will be feeling like the 80s as well as tomorrow. Feeling like the 90s. Live look at radar, things are looking dry across the region, and today warming up into the upper 80s. We're breaking down what to expect for temperatures in the next couple of days coming up. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, Eric, we will check.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. A heat wave is continuing to arrive into our area, and along with the heat comes the humidity in some parts of our area. For the next couple of days, the heat humidity will bring those temperatures and will feel like the upper 80s, even low 90s to mid 90s. And out towards the east and west, some areas could be seeing temperatures feeling like the hundreds. So a very warm next couple of days ahead of us. Here's a live look at our radar camera overlooking the city of Oneonta. And sunshine across the board for some parts of our area. There is still some cloud cover moving through, especially in the North Country. However, a lot of those clouds are continuing to diminish as the day moves on and the temperatures continue to rise. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. Things are dry across the area for the time being. There is a few isolated showers and storms in our forecast for today. There is a possibility of them developing. It is not guaranteed, but most of us will remain dry, enjoying this very warm summer day. Make sure everyone is staying cool and staying hydrated. Temperatures this noon, 75 in Old Forge, 85 in Clinton, 84 in Gray, as well as 83 in Mohawk and 83 in Cassville and 79 degrees in Otsego. Radar and satellite, the low pressure system that brought us a lot of widespread rainfall is out towards the east. And there's a cold front that is towards the north of us right now, but underneath that cold front is very hot and humid conditions. This will continue to remain hot as a warm front out towards the west moves into our area ahead of a cold front that could be bringing some stronger storms out towards the west of our area heading to Thursday. But thankfully, that cold front looks to be moving through our area overnight. We're not tracking any stronger storms for the time being. Now, because of the shortwave trough This is a weak disturbance in the upper atmosphere caused by this low. What this can do is this can cause some pop-up showers and storms to develop, primarily due to elevation. So the North Country and Southern Valleys could see a storm pop up. And there's plenty of ingredients, including some minor rotation, nothing too serious. However, the biggest ingredient right now is the heat and humidity. Those are what storms use as fuels. With high heat and high humidity, these storms could be on the stronger side, but also as long as these storms don't develop, if there's no lifting caused by this, we're not be expecting any storms. It's why these are pop-up isolated storms. And once I said before, the probability of this happening is very low. We do have a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather for today. This does include the possibility of hail as well as some pretty breezy conditions in some of these isolated storms. Now, looking ahead across the area, it is affecting most, if not all, of central New York for the time being. Now, looking ahead towards today, we will remaining mostly dry. Now that distracted, it's going to be a very warm and sunny day with high humidity temperatures warming up into the mid to upper 80s. And as you can see here, a few isolated pop-up showers and storms are possible, primarily in areas of higher elevation. The Mohawk Valley will look to be the one area that will be less likely to see the storms today. Now, after tonight, we cool down to the 60s and 70s. A very mild night tonight. Patchy fog makes way for sunny skies. Partly cloudy skies in some areas as well, but temperatures warming up into the 90s. A very warm day tomorrow. There is actually a heat advisory over some parts of our area. More on that coming up in just a second. But as we cool down, we'll only cool down into the 70s overnight before we rise up into the 70s and 80s once again for Thursday. Now, as you can see, a cold front arrives from the west. Now, because this is arriving overnight, there's not a very high chance of any strong storms developing. Now, there's a possibility of a few pop-up showers and storms from a scattered, more in the scattered nature, arriving later on in the early morning hours to evening. This will be happening primarily out towards the east between the southern part of Kergoma County as well as most of Otsego County. Now, the heat index, looking ahead, 90s, it will feel like 90-degree temperatures for the day today. Warming up tomorrow, reaching the mid-90s tomorrow. A very warm next couple of days ahead of us today. Now, looking ahead as well for our heat advisory right now, the areas that are affected right now are the southern part of Herkimer County, the southern part of Fulton County, and all of Montgomery County. Now, some parts of the areas, especially Oneida County and Otsego County, might get this advisory tonight, if not tomorrow. Most of the area is going to be seeing some very high temperatures over the next, especially for tomorrow. Today, highs in the 80s, partly cloudy. Isolated storms are possible. The breeze bringing a bit of relief to the heat. Low of 67 tonight, increasing cloud cover tomorrow. High of 92. The heat indices will make it feel a little bit warmer with hazy, hot, and humid conditions. Our 7-day forecast, the heat wave continues throughout the week. Definitely not as hot as Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday cooling down into the mid-80s and remaining in the mid-80s as we head into Saturday in lower 80s. By Sunday, a few storms as well as some showers are possible. We are back.
Yes, I'm Kristen Copeland.
I'm Jason Paulus. Here comes the heat, with much of the country experiencing extreme temperatures here at home tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be the hottest day of the week.
High temps, no breeze. Now is the time to start drinking water if you haven't already. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis gets us ready for what's to come from the Weather Center.
I think this is going to be the hottest day so far this year. And a good day to be by the pool, be somewhere where you can get into air conditioning if you need to. We're talking about temperatures tomorrow in the low 90s. We're not going to break any records here, but it's going to be a hot day. The heat index, when we factor in the humidity, will make it feel like mid to upper 90s across the Mohawk Valley and these areas that you see shaded in orange under a heat advisory. But we're all going to be dealing with the heat tomorrow wherever you live. Temperatures in the mid 80s this afternoon. Our heat index is 89, so it is a very warm day today. But we have the breeze. I don't think we're going to have that quite as strong tomorrow. And the humidity will be higher tomorrow compared to today, along with the air temperature. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is dry. We were looking for an isolated shower, but that is not developed, so we will be dry this evening. It's warm, it's humid tonight, hazy, hot, and humid tomorrow. A few thunderstorms around as we head into early Thursday, but we're not really going to get a break from this heat and humidity anytime soon. Looks like the hottest day tomorrow, and it is going to linger as we head into the weekend. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Bad timing for a power outage right now. That's the case in East Utica. About 1,000 homes without air conditioning and fans because of a malfunction at the National Grid substation. The outage map shows more than 3,000, but National Grid says it's in fact 1,000. One of 3 lines has malfunctioned for an unknown reason. Crews are working on it now, and the power should be restored by about 6 o'clock.
Everyone is going to need a break from the heat at some point this week. In Oneida County, there are cooling centers, including public libraries and senior centers. You would just need to call for the hours of operation. In Herkimer County, it's libraries, the YMCA buildings in Little Falls and Mohawk, and the Village of Frankfort office building. In Otsego County, there are no cooling centers listed with the state, but we would suggest local libraries and Southside Mall in Oneonta if you need a break from the heat. Heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the U.S. Signs of heat stroke include confusion, nausea, loss of consciousness, lack of sweat, fast breathing and heartbeat, or seizure. Call 911 or seek medical attention immediately.
The Baseball Hall of Fame weekend is heating up.
Most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A very warm day across central New York. Upper 80s this afternoon, feeling close to 90, and we do have some humidity to go along with it. Let's take a live look outside. This is a look from our Cabby Tower cam, and you can see some haze in the air as we look towards the city of Utica. While it is humid, it's not quite as humid as it was yesterday, but it is a lot warmer, and that does make it feel uncomfortable. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're dry. It's been a beautiful day. We've also had a breeze, which has helped a little bit. The air conditioner coming in handy. I know a lot of folks running it today. You'll be using it for the rest of the week if you have it. Should start to see some breaks in the weather early next week, but we have an extended period of hot and humid weather, which is something we just haven't really seen this summer. We've had a couple of hot days here and there. We've hit 90 twice so far, and it's likely to happen again tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow could be the warmest day so far this year. Dew points in the upper 60s, again feeling muggy. The dew point will stay very high over the next 48 hours here, and then it does break, or at least it lowers a bit for Friday. Local temperatures 87 in Utica, Whitesboro 84, Westmoreland 86, Stollidsville 85, across the Southern Valleys 87 in Sherburne, Skinnivis with 85, and Norwich with 84. This evening, the weather will be a lot more comfortable to take the dog for a walk as opposed to the middle of the afternoon. Temperatures will settle back into the low 80s. Tonight's featured dog is Rosie from Whitesboro. And if you want to be part of this, head to Bill's Buddies on Facebook. Radar and satellite image shows pretty quiet weather across the Northeast. We have high pressure driving our weather today, and that's also serving as a heat pump, bringing in a south wind and drawing in some of that hot weather that we really haven't seen much of so far this summer. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Look at partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 60s, so a very mild and muggy night. Hot and humid tomorrow. Temperatures climb into the low 90s. We're looking at dry weather throughout the day. A cold front approaches the area on Thursday. The timing here is early. It looks like the front arrives in the morning, which is not favorable for strong storms. We should see at least a few pop-up thunderstorms, but at this point, it looks like the most likely chance of severe weather will be to our east. Warm and humid tonight, low of 67. Tomorrow, looking at hazy, hot, and humid conditions, temperatures in the low 90s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It stays very warm here throughout the week. 87 Friday, 89 on Saturday. We start to get some relief heading into Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures back into the 70s. And coming up in a few minutes, we're talking about how quickly a car can warm up on days like tomorrow.
All right.
Bill, thank you. Zoom could soon...
A day in the U.S. tonight. More than half of the country at or near record highs today, with more severe conditions expected through the rest of the week. Jay Gray has more this evening from one of the hottest spots, Dallas, Texas.
The summer burn continues across much of the country right now. 141 million dealing with temperatures in the 90s. 51 million suffering through triple digits. The situation so severe, President Biden is reportedly considering a climate emergency declaration.
It's just been brutal heat.
Some of the worst of it in Texas. Crews today rushing to save homes from a wildfire fueled by the dry conditions. The state's power grid being pushed to its limits as so many families try to stay cool, while those without air worry about just how long they can last.
Without a doubt, it is a life and death situation.
Water is also a real concern. The dried out shifting ground leading to water main breaks across North Texas. And the forecast here doesn't hold much hope for things getting any better anytime soon. Over the next 10 days, only one will see a high under 102 degrees. With concern in the Lone Star State and across the country that the hottest days of summer are still to come. Jay Gray, NBC News, Dallas.
Upwards of 40 children die every year after being left in a hot car. And this week especially, you need to be aware of the dangers. AAA says there have been 10 deaths so far this year. Experts suggest buckling a stuffed animal in the front seat or putting something you need in the back seat with your child so you won't forget that they're there. Your phone, your shoes, your purse. Now, parents should call 911 immediately if there are signs of heat stroke in their child. And that could include confusion, nausea, loss of consciousness, lack of sweat, fast breathing and heartbeat, or seizure. To explain just how hot the temperature rises in cars, let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
That's right, Jason. This can happen very quickly on days like tomorrow. That strong sun, hot temperatures, a car can get hot in just a matter of minutes. If the air temperature is 90 degrees, a car can get over 100 degrees in just 5 minutes or less. Within 10 minutes, 109 degrees, 20 minutes, 119 degrees, a half an hour, 124 degrees, and then in over an hour, 133 degrees. Again, just want to be really careful on days like tomorrow. Even when it's not 90, even on days like today, we're still in the upper 80s. These numbers aren't going to be quite as high, but it doesn't take much to cause issues here. So again, never ever leave children or pets in a car unattended this time of the year. Let's talk about conditions tonight as you're going to bed. You're going to want to run the air conditioner. We're looking at overnight lows dropping down only into the upper 60s. So another uncomfortable night for sleeping. That's going to be the norm here throughout the week. We're talking about a hot day tomorrow. We'll let you know how long the heat lasts. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Tick-tock. Colin Ferris reporting. Let's get you back to the Weather Center now with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. And it's very hot out there, but makes it worse on the pavements, doesn't it?
Yeah, things to keep in mind. If you're going to be taking a walk tomorrow afternoon, a hot day, skip taking the dog. You want to be really careful here. 90 degrees, sure, that's not record-breaking heat, but it's a hot day. The pavement, on the other hand, can get as hot as 120 to 135 degrees. So that would be serious enough to cause burns on your pet's paws. So again, keep your pets indoors during the afternoon. Unlike winter, you can enjoy days like tomorrow. Just don't do it in the afternoon. Go out in the early morning or the evening time, just not in the middle of the day here. That's when conditions are the hottest. Just noticed a pop-up shower here that we're going to have to keep a close eye on in northern Madison County. We've got a lot of heat and humidity in place. This is the isolated storm that we were talking about. This formed here within the past 15 minutes. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. If it would continue to develop, this is going to be passing south of the Mohawk Valley. Other than that, it is dry, it's warm, and it will stay that way this evening. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Tracking some hot weather tomorrow along with storms on Thursday. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. A week from today.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A hot day today. Temperatures pushing the upper 80s, and it is still humid. Not quite as humid as yesterday, but a lot warmer. Let's take a live look outside. This is our Cooperstown camera. It's been an absolutely beautiful day. Heat aside, we've had a breeze, which has helped, and we're looking at dry conditions for the majority of the area. There is one exception, and this is the one thing we've been watching for. An isolated storm has developed on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. When we're talking about isolated, this is what we mean. Almost the entire area is dry, but if you're living over this spot, it's not. Looking at a downpour that's just north of Hamilton. If this continues to develop, which I think it will, this will be tracking along and just south of Route 20, making its way slowly into eastern Madison and Otsego County. We'll continue to track the progress of this as it is in a very favorable environment for development. A lot of heat and humidity out there, and that is the one lone shower out there this evening. It's going to be a hot one tomorrow. The heat index climbing into the upper 90s. It's going to be a hot week, but tomorrow is the day to watch. The heat index climbing to 97. And again, with the high levels of heat and humidity, you're going to want to take it easy tomorrow afternoon. West Leyden 80 degrees, Boonville 81, Old Forge 80, Mohawk 85, Gray 86. Across Southern Valleys, temperatures are warm. Hartwick 80 degrees, Richfield 87, and Jason in Newport checking in with 84. We do have some storms to the northwest. Most of these will avoid our area. We have some of them that are just crossing into northern New York State. These will be moving into the eastern Adirondacks. So again, generally dry conditions tonight. Partly cloudy skies and very warm. Overnight lows only in the upper 60s. Great night for the air conditioner. Tomorrow, a hazy, hot, and humid day. Looking at dry weather throughout. Temperatures climb into the low 90s. Tomorrow night, the weather remains balmy. Overnight lows only in the 70s. There will be a cold front that arrives Thursday morning that produces some scattered showers and storms. The timing of the front is not favorable for widespread severe weather, as it does arrive early in the day, so the risk for severe weather looks to be to our east on Thursday. But we will keep an eye on things. If the front slows down, that would increase our chances for severe weather. So again, something to watch here for Thursday afternoon. It does turn a little bit less humid and slightly cooler as we head into Friday, but we're not really going to get any relief here until early next week. Warm and humid tonight, low of 67. Tomorrow, hazy, hot, and humid, a high of 92. Again, feeling more like upper 90s with the humidity. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Thunderstorms possible Thursday, 85. Again, those storms look to be early in the day. Friday, again, not much relief. There will be less humidity, but it's still very warm, 87. Hot and humid on Saturday, 89. Some scattered showers and storms continue into the weekend. Much cooler weather finally here for Monday and Tuesday with temperatures in the 70s. We'll be right back.
Temperatures dominating the national headlines. Well, tomorrow it's coming for us. We got a taste of it today. We're going to head over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. So how high will the mercury go, Bill?
Thinking this is going to be the warmest day so far this year, low 90s. We're not going to break any records, but this is going to be a hot day tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the upper 90s, at least what it will feel like with the heat index. And because of that, the National Weather Service has a heat advisory in effect for the lower elevations, including the Mohawk Valley. Our temperature today is very warm. The dew point's also pretty high. So again, a very warm day today, but we do have the breeze. I don't think we're going to have that breeze tomorrow. We're also tracking a couple of isolated storms and isolated storm, I should say. It's live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We've got to keep an eye on this. It's developed pretty quickly here over the past half hour. This is in Madison County, southern Oneida County, tracking along the Route 20 corridor. Quick downpour heading towards Brookfield. And we'll be keeping an eye on that. We'll also be keeping an eye on some storms well to our north. These will likely pass into the Adirondacks. They may clip the very northern part of Herkimer County later this evening. So again, a couple of things to watch here, along with, of course, the mercury. Warm and humid tonight, hazy, hot, and humid tomorrow. We're tracking some thunderstorms that continue into Thursday with our next chance of widespread activity and some cooler weather. Very warm this evening, temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. We are tracking, again, some thunderstorms here for Thursday afternoon. A look at that forecast is coming up. Kristen, back to you.
As temperatures rise, AAA and the heat at some point this week. In Oneida County, there are cooling centers in local libraries and senior centers. You just need to call for hours of operation, depending on where you plan to go. In Herkimer County, libraries, also the YMCA buildings in Little Falls and Mohawk, and the Village of Frankfort office building. Otsego County, the state has not listed cooling centers, but we would suggest local libraries and Southside Mall in Oneonta if you do need to take a break from the heat. Some of baseball's greatest players will be in
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. The heat, the humidity will be ramping up over the next 24 hours. It is turning out to be a lovely evening in central New York, though. Let's take a live look outside. It's hazy. We're looking over the city of Utica. We've enjoyed a lot of sunshine today, and we've had a breeze, even though it's been a very warm day. And it actually has not been too bad to be outdoors. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We did see, and we are seeing, an isolated storm that has popped up. This is across southern Oneida and the central part of Madison County. This is going to be tracking along the Route 20 corridor. Should this hold together, some downpours will be possible near Richfield at 7:02 and Warren at 7:23. Again, some thunder, some lightning is also possible with that. It's a very small storm, so that doesn't last for very long. Storms to the north are severe. This is in northern New York. These will be tracking into the Adirondacks, and all of these should be missing our area. This may clip northern Herkimer County. This would be passing north of Old Forge. So again, aside from that brief downpour in Madison County, I think the remainder of the evening will be dry. A reminder, this time of the year, when we get hot days, the air temperature is 90. The pavement can be even hotter than that. During the day, you're going to want to avoid taking your dog out for a walk during the afternoon hours because the pavement could be as high as 120 to 135 degrees. And again, that could damage your pet's paws. Unlike the wintertime, though, in the summer, it's hot in the afternoon. You can still enjoy the mornings and the evenings as it cools off. Usually in the winter, it's cold from start to finish, but not so on days like tomorrow. Skywatchers, Alder Creek, 82 degrees, 81 in Boonville, Clinton, 86 across Southern Valleys. Temperatures are very warm. Richfield, 87 degrees, and Whitesboro with 83. So the bigger picture shows high pressure that will continue to keep us hot tomorrow with a south wind. Eventually, a cold front catches up with us Thursday, and that brings us some showers and thunderstorms. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, great night to run the air conditioner if you have it. Overnight lows will be in the upper 60s. A hot day tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Again, a beautiful day aside from the heat. Temperatures will be in the low 90s. Tomorrow night, the weather looks very warm. An air conditioner is a must. Temperatures will be in the 70s, and we are tracking some scattered showers and storms on Thursday. The timing of the front is in the morning, so that's less favorable for severe weather. Looks like that's going to be generally taking place to our east. Warm and humid tonight, low of 67. Hazy, hot, and humid tomorrow, a high of 92. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Not much relief in the wake of this cold front. We're still in the upper 80s on Friday and Saturday. We'll have more storm chances over the weekend. Cooler weather, temperatures in the upper 70s on Monday and Tuesday. Back over to you.
Bill, thank you. Still to come on News Channel 2. It's just a moment. But first, a lot more to talk about when it comes to the warm weather, quite warm weather coming our way and across the state for that matter as the mercury rises. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis standing by with what we can expect tomorrow. Bill, good evening.
Good evening, Jason. It's looking to be the hottest day of the year so far. Air temperatures climbing into the low 90s. It will feel like upper 90s with the humidity. And a reminder that when it does get hot on days like tomorrow, when temperatures exceed 90 degrees, cars get hot very quickly. Just 10 minutes. A car can climb up to 109 degrees in a half an hour, 124 degrees in an hour, 133 degrees. It is imperative on days like tomorrow that you don't leave children or pets in the car. You want to be really careful on days like tomorrow, especially. We have that heat advisory in effect for the lower elevations. Really, everybody is going to be dealing with the heat. It's going to be a little bit hotter in the lower spots. And we will be dealing with that tonight. Uncomfortable sleeping weather, too. Overnight lows only drop down into the upper 60s, and so the fan and the air conditioner will be coming in handy. Looking at those temperatures again, the hottest day tomorrow, 92. We'll stay in the upper 80s for a good portion of the week. Tonight, low of only 67. We are tracking a few thunderstorms as well. Look at that forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Cooling centers. Everyone is going to need a break from the heat at some point this week. Oneida County cooling centers include public libraries and senior centers. You would just need to call for hours of operation. In Herkimer County, it's libraries and the YMCA buildings in Little Falls and Mohawk and the Village of Frankfort office building. And in Otsego County, no cooling centers listed, but we suggest local libraries and the Southside Mall in Oneonta if you need to take a break from the heat. This heat wave is
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look outside. This is our Cat B Tower Cam overlooking the city of Utica. It's warm tonight. Temperatures are in the upper 60s, and we will stay there overnight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet. It did have an isolated shower in Madison County that moved into Otsego County earlier this evening. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Been a warm day today, but it's going to be a hot day tomorrow. We talked about how cars warm up really quickly. Well, another thing that warms up quickly, the pavement. On a 90-degree day, the pavement could be ranging between 120 degrees to 135 degrees. And this is just something to keep in mind. You don't want to take your dog out for a walk in the afternoon on a sunny day like tomorrow because paws can burn in just a couple of minutes when temperatures exceed 120 degrees at the surface, and they will tomorrow. So if you do want to take your dog out for a walk, go in the morning, go in the evening, but try to avoid the heat of the day. 1 to 4 p.m. Certainly the case with these temperatures. Air conditioning is going to come in handy if you have it. You'll be cranking it over the next several days. Temperatures again climbing into the 90s tomorrow. We start out in the low 70s, but we climb quickly. By noontime, we're 86. We should hit 90 around 2 o'clock and stay in the low 90s in the afternoon. The heat index, when we factor in the humidity, approaches the upper 90s in the afternoon. I think it tops out around 97, maybe 98 degrees. Again, just take it easy. There will not be the wind that we saw today for tomorrow. We'll have a light breeze, but it will not be as beneficial compared to what we saw today. And it does look dry throughout the afternoon. Radar and satellite image, we do have some scattered showers to the west. These fall apart by the time they get here. We're looking at dry weather here overnight. Temperatures, again, start out in the low 70s tomorrow morning. Partly sunny skies, a very warm day with highs, again, in the low 90s. There will be a cold front that arrives tomorrow night. This is going to arrive very late in the night and into the early morning. Not favorable for severe weather, but we could see a few scattered showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. So no alert day for Thursday, but we could see some showers and storms. Warm and humid tonight, low of 67. Tomorrow, looking at hazy, hot, and humid weather, high of 92. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We don't get much relief in the wake of this cold front. It does get cooler, but we're still in the mid-80s Thursday. We're in the upper 80s Friday, close to 90 again by Saturday. Scattered showers and storms are possible heading into the weekend. And the cool weather, the relief, really doesn't arrive until Monday, with temperatures settling into the upper 70s. We'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to get to those stories and a lot more in just a moment. First, though, it's going to be quite warm here in our area and across the state as the mercury rises tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Bill Carter standing by with what we can expect tomorrow as we get ready for a warm-up. Right, Bill?
Yeah, tomorrow looks to be the hottest day so far this year. We're not going to be shattering any records. This is not totally uncommon for this time of the year, but being in the low 90s does come with a few hazards, and one of them is in a car. Cars warm up very quickly on days like tomorrow when the air temperature is 90. Cars that are exposed to the sunshine climb into the triple digits very shortly. In 10 minutes, the car can be 109 degrees, 30 minutes, 124 degrees, and 60 minutes, 133 degrees. It's very dangerous to leave small children and pets in a car on days like tomorrow unattended. Temperature-wise, again, looking at highs tomorrow in the low 90s, the heat index climbs into the mid to upper 90s in the Mohawk Valley, and this is why parts of our area are under a heat advisory. All of us will be experiencing a hot day, just the lower elevations will be warmer than the surrounding hilltops. Current temperature is 74. It is a warm night. The air conditioner coming in handy if you have it. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking pretty quiet across the region. The weather will remain in the upper 60s tonight. That's about as cool as we get. We're tracking some heat, some humidity, and even a few thunderstorms as we look ahead. And look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Everyone is going to need a break from the heat at some point this week. Oneida County cooling centers include public libraries and senior centers. You would just need to call for hours of operation. In Herkimer County, it's libraries, the YMCA buildings in Little Falls and Mohawk, and the Village of Frankfort office building. Now, in Otsego County, there are no cooling centers listed, but we would suggest local libraries and Southside Mall in Oneonta if you need to take a break from the heat. This heat wave is
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We are taking a live look outside. This is our CAVV tower cam. We are getting a couple of isolated showers and even a few rumbles of thunder that are just starting to develop literally in the past 15 minutes or so, and wanting to see if we can catch maybe a glimpse of lightning here on our tower cam. We'll give it a couple of seconds here. If not, I'll show you what's going on. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Take a look at this. Again, quick pop-up shower here. This is not far away from our TV studio. We will see a few rumbles of thunder with this as this drifts to the south and east. And again, this is going to be isolated heading into tonight. Hot day tomorrow. I wanted to point out the fact that on days like tomorrow, the air temperature is 90, but the pavement could be a lot hotter than that. In fact, tomorrow, the concrete, the asphalt between 120 to 135 degrees. Don't walk your pets. Don't walk your dogs during the afternoon time tomorrow because the paws could get injured. The paws burn when temperatures hit about 120 degrees. We'll be in that threshold tomorrow. You can take your dog for a walk. Just wait until the evening or the morning time to do that. Again, this is going to be the biggest concern tomorrow with air temperatures hitting 90. Air conditioning coming in handy, of course, throughout the next several days. We're in the middle of a stretch of this hot, humid weather, and unlike the previous times this has happened over the summer, this is going to be lasting for several days in a row. Let's take you hour by hour tomorrow. Temperatures start out in low 70s. We make it into the low 90s in the afternoon. The heat index, what it feels like with the humidity, approaching the upper 90s tomorrow afternoon. So again, take it easy. We really haven't seen this level of heat this year yet. And unlike today, we're not going to have the wind in the afternoon, just a light breeze, and that's really not going to help much. The weather, though, is expected to be dry. So you look at the radar and satellite image again, pretty quiet weather, a couple of isolated showers and storms occasionally popping up here and there. We will see generally dry weather tomorrow. Again, temperatures start out in the low 70s with partly sunny skies. A hot day tomorrow, highs in the low 90s. Tomorrow night, a cold front will catch up with us. This will arrive early Thursday morning. A few scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder are possible. The timing of the front doesn't favor severe weather. It's early in the day. Looks like the severe weather risk will be east as that front heads into Albany closer to the afternoon time. But still, we'll continue to keep an eye on that as it moves out of our area. Warm and humid tonight, low of 67. Tomorrow, partly sunny, hazy, hot and humid. Temperatures in the low 90s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Not much of a break here from the heat. We're still in the mid to upper 80s Thursday, Friday, close to 90 again by Saturday. Showers and storms on Sunday. Cooler weather finally by Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.